Hey guys, it's MrCrayfish and welcome back to my redstone tutorials. In this tutorial today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a working cooler. Now what this is a storage solution to store all your potions while also having a working functionality. So here is our cooler. We can open it up by flicking this lever here. We can pop our potions into the cooler here to make sure they stay cool. Then to retrieve them, all we have to do is press this button here. Now, you might have noticed that nothing actually came out, and because this cooler is not actually cold, we've actually got to fill it up with some ice. So all we have to do is chuck in some ice here. Each ice will keep the cooler cool for 5 minutes. So if we throw in 5 here, that would be cool for 25 minutes. Now that we've thrown that in, we can actually go ahead and press this button here, and we'll retrieve one of our drinks. So how cool is that? And I'm going to be showing you guys how you can build this today. Now the materials that you are going to need is 9 redstone dust, 6 redstone torches, 4 redstone repeaters, 2 redstone comparators, 4 droppers, 8 hoppers, 1 stone button, 1 lever, 1 wooden pressure plate. Now it has to be a wooden one, it can't be stone. 1 chest, 1 iron trapdoor, 1 cauldron, 2 slabs of your choice, and 64 blocks of your choice. Oh yeah. Now the first thing that we're going to do is place down our cooler. This just allows us to position the whole entire contraption a whole lot easier. So let's go ahead, get out the cauldron, get out the iron trapdoor, and place it down where you want, and then we'll place the iron trapdoor at the back here of the cauldron. Now what we've got to do is dig a 5 wide by 3 long by 3 deep hole. Now where we start is simply come to the block in front of the cauldron here, and then go 1 block to the right, and this is where we are going to start. So get out a spade, dig the block below, and then dig 2 blocks forward. We're going to dig 4 blocks to the left here, 2 blocks to the front, and then back to the start. Dig out these blocks in the center, and then all we have to do is dig this down 2 more layers. Now at the center of the back here, you want to locate this column here in the center, dig that out, and then dig out the blocks to the left of it and the right of it. And now we just need to dig this back 2 more layers. Now to come back to your cauldron here, and what you want to do is come under it, then go back 1 block here. We're going to place a block there, and then 2 droppers on top of it facing upwards. So crouch while doing this so you don't open up the GUI of the dropper. So jump and then place it, jump and then place another block. Now coming out the side of the bottom one here, we're going to place a hopper. So again, crouch and then right click the right side of the bottom dropper. Come back down to the hole here. We're going to bring this 2 towards the back. So 1, 2. 1 on top of this one here, 1 coming towards the center, and then 1 on this front face right there. So whenever we throw an item into this hopper here, it's going to go down into these hoppers and then end up in this dropper down here. Now one thing we do need to do is sort out if it's ice. So we're going to create the item filter now. So what we do here is from this block, leave a block gap and then place a block here, and then 1 more towards the back here. On this first block, place a comparator facing towards the back, then redstone here, and then down 1. Now under this block, we're going to dig that out, dig the block under it, place a redstone repeater here, facing towards the front. Then on the block that this repeater is facing into, on the other side here, we're going to place a redstone torch. Now get your hopper, and what we're going to do is place it so the funnel is facing into this comparator here. So we have to crouch and then right click the back of it like that. and as you can see, it's pointing into the comparator. Now we're temporarily going to place a block right here, so just to the left of that little gap there. Then we're actually going to come over this side, so dig out this. It's a bit tricky to get there, but we'll get it. We can just dig out these blocks here. We're going to place a hopper going into that temporary block we just placed, and make sure the funnel's pointing into it. We're going to come back over here, destroy that block. Then what we're going to do is place a dropper to the right of this, facing downwards. This block here, we're actually going to place a chest there first, and then we're going to place our dropper, so we might need to dig down one more block here so we can actually make it face downwards. So crouch, then right click, and now whenever an item is shot, it will be shot down into this chest at the bottom here. We can cover that back up now, and then also you can fill in that which we destroyed before. We're going to get a redstone comparator, and coming out of this dropper here facing towards the back, we're going to place it there, lead that into a block. Then after this we're going to place a redstone repeater, lead that again into another block, make sure, yeah, it's a comparator. On top of this block at the end here, redstone torch, then a block above it, and then one towards the front here. On this most front one here, we're going to place a redstone torch on the left side. On top of those two blocks, place redstone dust, and it should now turn off this torch here. We're going to place a block to the left of this repeater here, then one in front, 2 redstone on that. We're going to get our slabs out now, and we're going to place a stone slab here, then get our dropper, and we're going to place it in front of this slab here, facing to the left. Now under this dropper, what we've got to do is place a redstone torch, so dig out the block under it, and then place it on the right side of this block here. On that block that the torch is on, place a wooden pressure plate, and we can fill that back in. At the front of the dropper here, place another stone slab on the top half, then fill in a block here, and then we're going to place a redstone repeater on this dropper here facing towards the front, and then one going into that dropper there. On the 2 slabs, place redstone. Now we're going to head back up to the top here, so let's just get back up to the top. And we're going to create a little wall at the back here of the cooler, so like this, 3 wide by 2 high. On this right side here, we're going to place a lever. On the left side, we're going to place the button. Behind the block that the lever is on, place a redstone torch, block above it, and then a block to the left of it. Redstone on top of that block. Then behind the block that the button is on, we're going to place a redstone torch. And there we go, the construction is complete. Now we're not done yet. Please take note of that, we're not done yet. What we've got to do now is actually configure it. So what you're going to need to actually configure this is 2 ice blocks. You're going to need 20 useless blocks. I've just got 20 cobblestone. You're going to need to grab an anvil, and then you're also going to need 9 stacks of kind of, again, useless blocks, because we're going to be putting these into a dropper here. So first of all, what we're going to do is rename the cobblestone. Now we're going to split these up into 4 stacks of 5, and then rename each stack to a random basically a random letters, whatever you want, something that's not guessable by people. So I don't think anybody's going to guess that. It's pretty random. So do that for each one. Then what we're going to do is open up this hopper here, which is next to the comparator there. In the first slot, place the ice, and then in the 4 remaining slots, place each of the 5 cobblestone stacks. Then for the dirt here, you want to open up this dropper here, which is next to the pressure plate, and then place all of that in there. Then finally, what we're actually going to do is cover up this pressure plate here. I'll basically surround it with blocks because this is actually going to be shooting out items, and we want to make sure that it actually lands on the pressure plate. So we're actually going to place a block here, block there. Then you're going to need to start it up by throwing one item onto here. So place a block there, and then cover that up now. Now let's go ahead and test this out real quickly just to make sure that it is all working. So I can throw this water bottle in here and press the button here, but as you can see, it's not going to come out because there's no ice in the system. So to get this working straight away, we actually have to throw 2 ice blocks into the cooler here, and then we can actually go ahead and press it now, and then we'll get our water bottle back. Now you guys know what time it is. It's where I'm going to teach you guys how this actually works. So we'll start by when we actually throw in the bottles here. So what happens when we throw in the bottles is we throw it into this to this cauldron. This hopper here will actually pick the item up inside the cauldron there. We've actually got an item filter here, and this is only going to be picking up ice. So if it's not ice, it's just going to follow these hoppers here. All these hoppers here lead to this bottom dropper. So if we threw like another potion in here, as you can see, they all end up in this bottom dropper. When we throw in ice, it's not going to go to that bottom dropper. It's instead going to get picked up by this item filter here. If it's ice, we're going to bring it down and then put it into this dropper here. Now this lets the item through here because once there's 23 items inside of the hopper here, currently there's 22 in total. Once there's 23, this comparator is going to send a signal strength of 2 out. If you remember, under this block here there's a repeater which leads into a torch. Because this is now 2 blocks strong, it powers that repeater, which unpowers that redstone torch and allows one of these items to come out, and then that goes back to a 22 blocks inside this hopper here. Now how we actually make sure that there is you have to have ice in the system for the actual water bottle to come out there is here we've got this dropper which has the ice in it. We're using a comparator here to detect if there's ice in the system. So if this is powered, that means there's ice in the cooler. This sends out a signal into this block, into this repeater here, and turns off this torch here. It's basically an AND NOT gate, so basically this torch down the bottom here and this torch here have to be off for it to actually shoot an item out. So currently there is no ice in the system. It seems like that ice has run out if we throw another one in here. So as you can see, that torch is off now, and then once we press this button here, this torch will turn off, which allows this one to come on. This simply just powers this dropper at the front here. We avoid any kind of powering of the droppers here by using slabs because it won't actually power it, and then we put repeaters on top so it won't won't power it. So if we press this now, oh well, there's nothing. Oh no, there is bottles in the system. We'll get our potion of leaping. Now what this is over here with the item on there is actually just a timer. So I'm pretty sure items despawn after 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes one of the ice stacks here. So after 5 minutes the item will despawn, which then triggers this dropper here to shoot that item down into the chest below it. And that's how we keep track of how much or how long the cooler can be basically cold for. So if there's no ice in there, then you can't get out your items and it's not keeping them cool. So hopefully that explains how this works. Now we're just going to go ahead and cover this up so you don't have to worry about cutting off any redstone. That's one thing I wanted to make sure was in this design, so just cover everything up as much as you can. I don't suggest putting a block over this torch though. And we can go ahead and we can to there as well. Then we can close the cauldron up. You can also fill up this with water as well if you want, just to make it look cooler. Now that, guys, is going to end off this redstone tutorial today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure you go ahead and snap that like button. If you enjoyed these tutorials and want more, make sure you go ahead and subscribe as well. I suggest you press that post notification button so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. And if you have any ideas for redstone tutorials, let me know down in the comments below, because I do go down there and read all of your guys' comments. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye!